Good evening. This is All India Radio Kohima. I'm Jonas Yantan with evening news. The headlines. Nagaland Health Department strongly recommends measures to avoid post-festival surge and a third wave of COVID-19. Centre advises states and UTs to maintain their preparedness for fighting COVID in view of the new Omicron variant. National Human Rights Commission expresses serious concern on the problems of leprosy-affected people. And Prime Minister Modi says white revolution can play an important role in increasing the income of farmers. As India marches towards administering 150 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, news about a fresh corona variant is also causing concern. In this situation, we appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. Please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 6 feet for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075 and state helpline number 1800345-0019. And now the news in detail. In view of the festivities, the Nagaland Health and Family Welfare Department has strongly recommended measures to avoid a post-festival surge and a third wave of COVID-19 in the state, maintaining that the use of mask is highly effective in reducing transmission of any variant of concern. It asked everyone to wear a mask in public places, especially in crowded areas, social or indoor gatherings. The department said all citizens should celebrate responsibly by limiting gatherings, crowd avoidance, and adhering to responsible measures like use of masks and hand hygiene. The State Health Department said COVID-19 vaccines are expected to be highly effective against severe disease and death for any variant of concern. It therefore strongly recommended the unvaccinated or those who have not availed a second dose to receive it timely before the third wave. It requested anyone with COVID-19-like symptoms to come forward for testing and avoid crowds or public spaces. The department also appealed to all travellers to strictly adhere to laid down SOPs and monitor their health and symptoms. The centre has advised states and union territories not to let their guard down and maintain their preparedness for fighting COVID in view of the new Omicron variant. Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan reviewed public health preparedness of the states for fighting COVID along with progress of vaccination with state health secretaries and National Health Mission through video conference today. He re-emphasized the 5-fold strategy of containment, testing and surveillance, clinical management, COVID safety behavior and vaccination. States were asked to keep a close and strict watch on number of Delta and Omicron cases in all districts, case positivity, doubling rate, and new emerging clusters, and initiate containment in these areas. They were advised to impose night curfews and ensure strict regulation of large gatherings, especially ahead of the forthcoming festivities. The National Human Rights Commission (NHRC) has expressed serious concern on the problems of leprosy-affected people and those affected by mental health issues. NHRC had organized a meeting of its core group on health and mental health in New Delhi yesterday. In the session on leprosy, NHRC's chairperson, Justice Arun Mishra, said that there are still many discriminatory laws. He said that these need to be amended or repealed and replaced with policies and frameworks that will protect human rights of people affected with leprosy. He said that their social and economic empowerment needs to be prioritized to bring them into the mainstream. Some other suggestions that emerged included provision of sustained supply of medicines, basic amenities, and vocational training to people affected with leprosy, and focus on mental health and rehabilitation of people affected by leprosy and their families. It was also highlighted that awareness about leprosy needs to be built through a sustained campaign to end myth about the disease and discrimination against those who suffer from it and their family members, especially their children. This news comes to you from All India Radio, Kohima. You can also listen to this news bulletin on the YouTube channel AIR News Kohima. To commemorate the celebration of 75 years of India's independence, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav we present India at 75 quiz with AIR News Kohima, a special quiz on India's freedom movement in its glorious history every Thursday in the evening news bulletin. And here goes our question of the week for English News Bulletin. The first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, raised the Indian national flag on 15 August 1947, named the Gate of the Red Fort. I repeat, the first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, raised the Indian national flag on 15 August 1947, named the Gate of the Red Fort. Listeners can send their responses to the question to our email, airnewskohima, india75@gmail.com, or WhatsApp to 9485 239950 along with name and address. The first correct answer received from the participants will be selected as the winner and will be announced in tomorrow's morning news at 7:30 a.m. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said that a white revolution can play an important role in increasing the income of farmers. That is why the double-engine government is continuously supporting the farmers in the dairy sector. Modi was speaking at the launching of 27 developmental projects worth over 2,000 crore rupees, including laying of the foundation stone for Banas Dairy in his parliamentary constituency, Varanasi. On the occasion of Kisan Divas, today, Prime Minister remembered former Prime Minister Chaudhary Charan Singh and appealed to the farmers that they should move forward towards natural farming, which is the safest way of farming, and it is also a big step towards making farming sector self-reliant. He said that from the ancient times, cows have been the symbol of prosperity in our country, but this sector was neglected for some time, and now his government is taking steps to develop this sector with many schemes and programs. Longso Yimkyong from Gifere has won the Hornbill International Photo Competition 2021 organized by Eastern Art Council with the support of the Department of Information and Public Relations and Tourism Department. Inagavi Kasho from Kohima and Barvesh Akhtar from Kolkata were placed second and third place winners respectively, while there were 10 consolation prize winners. The organizers informed that a prize distribution usually happens on the last day of the Hornbill Festival, but this year, due to the unfortunate incident at Mon, it was postponed and held yesterday in Dimapur. Nagaland today detected 3 fresh COVID-19 infections, recovery of 2 patients from the infection, and a death. With this, the total confirmed positive cases in the state is 32,175, with detection of 2 cases in Dimapur and 1 in Kohima. The number of recovered patients are 30,320, as 2 of them recovered in Kohima today. The total fatalities due to the infection increased to 686. At present, there are 83 active cases in the state. Union government has said that a total of 236 cases of COVID variant Omicron have been reported so far in the country. Out of these total cases, 104 patients have already recovered. A maximum number of 65 cases have been reported so far from Maharashtra, followed by Delhi and Telangana. Omicron cases have been reported in 16 states and union territories. And now 20 news, here are the main points again. Nagaland Health Department strongly recommends measures to avoid post-festival surge and third wave of COVID-19. Centre advises states and UTs to maintain their preparedness for fighting COVID in view of the new Omicron variant. National Human Rights Commission expresses serious concern on the problems of leprosy affected people. And Prime Minister Modi says white revolution can play an important role in increasing the income of farmers. That is all we have in this evening news bulletin. Good night